wish your
What did you give her? That she's done with already.
You're done already? Oh, yeah.
All right.
Ready? Hey, everyone.
What's going on?
I'm Angela.
I'm Ron.
And this is Chatter of Opinion. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes.
Our topic today, well, we're continuing our 5 Love Language series. Last week we did, what did we do last week? Words of affirmation. This week we're concentrating on acts of service. This one is also, if you have not taken the quiz, please do so, which is, 2 episodes back? There's a link, or you can Google 5 Love Language quiz, and it'll come up. But acts of service currently was my top voice.
Right. And even if they didn't take the quiz, we would be curious to know, what love language do you think that you are? Or you and your partner, if you have a partner, what love language do you think you currently are?
Yeah, that's true. So originally when I took this test years ago, when Ron and I first met, which was probably about 9 years ago or so, when I took the quiz, at that time, mine was physical touch was my primary, but now it's become acts of service. Reasons I can assume why it changed for me was just things that I've been or went through with my mom. And as I got older, my household and things became more important to me. And when my house is in order is when I feel most zen. And so when my partner can help me get to that feeling, then I think that's what makes me feel loved.
Yeah. And before, when I took the test, mine was physical touch. And recently, when I retook the test, the quiz, it became was it quality time?
Quality time was his. So,
but physical touch came in easy second.
Okay.
Physical touch.
So basically, acts of service is anything done willingly by your partner to ease your workload. Love is expressed by way of practical actions. So I've made kind of a list of things that maybe you or I know myself would feel loved if my partner did these things. And I apologize if you hear crackling in the back. Our dog is totally chomping on a bone that I gave her, and it was the total wrong choice. But I hope you guys don't hear that too much. Okay, so a few actions that I feel may help you feel loved is like running errands for you. Okay. Helping with chores around the house. Home improvement initiatives.
Wait.
What?
Hold on. So why would act of service be helping with chores around the house? How does that fall in the category, in your opinion, on acts of service?
Well, I know for me, because we kind of, it's not an argument, but we kind of bicker to each other because I'm always like, oh, our house is a mess. And he's like, no, it's not. Right. So to me.
And you're, no. No. What? Because the words that are chosen is not mess. It's dirty or whatever. And the house is never
I'm not
dirty.
being dramatic. It's dirty.
It is
to
not
me,
dirty.
in my standard, it's dirty. And he's like, what? He doesn't get it. And so, but to me, like helping with chores is just like, he may not think it's dirty, but me, if it's something that I'm like, let's just pick up the house, which I have to say, you are very good at doing things like that. And the thing is it's what Ron is good at is that I don't have to tell him.
No.
Not often. There's been a few times where I ask him for help, but it's something more that isn't an obvious thing. like an everyday thing that needs to be cleaned or picked up. It's more just detail of maybe I'm starting a project or just something like that. But in general, I've come home a few times on a Friday, and although he does have another ulterior motive for it, that doesn't matter to me, because, and what I'm trying to say is I'll come home and he already vacuumed or swept and mopped and dusted. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Like that. I love it to get home on a Friday and part of the cleaning's done. What's your ulterior motive?
Well, my thing is, my weekends, I just like to relax and do what I want to do on the weekend. I know if I don't do it on a Friday, you're gonna come and be like on a Saturday, start
when
cleaning.
He wants to chill.
Let's say I'm watching the game
sports.
In the middle of the sports or whatever. Then all of a sudden the vacuum is going and cleaning. Then I feel bad as a person to watch somebody clean when we both were a part of whatever the
dirtying it.
It wasn't even dirty. The house don't even be dirty. So whatever needs to be cleaned, I feel bad if just one person is cleaning it, because I have responsibilities as well. You shouldn't have to tell me to clean. If I come home and I see the house is not in order, okay, then it's up to me to just go ahead and get down on it. You shouldn't have to tell me or ask me to do anything as a member of the house.
I hear you. So is that why you chose to say, what do you mean by helping with chores?
Like people that help with chores.
I hear you, but you're different. That's what I'm saying. Some people may have to ask their partner to do these things that are sometimes obvious.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So anyways, to continue, home improvement initiatives, even taking my car for a car wash.
Okay.
Helping with the children's tasks or homework.
We don't have kids.
We don't, but we're not talking about just us.
Go ahead.
What else do I have? Going to the grocery store. Like if I'm busy or whatever, like some men will not go to the grocery store without their woman.
I like going to the grocery store, especially for myself, because I get to get whatever it is that I want to get.
If I go for him, he's like, you don't get no snacks and you don't get this and that.
This whole pickup, the Walmart pickup is for the devil.
I love Walmart pickup.
That's the devil.
It saves so much money because we're not going down the aisles.
I need getting some randomness. In the aisle. Yeah, I need some of that.
What's funny is when I say, what do you need from the store? He doesn't say, give me snacks, chips, Debbie. He doesn't say that, which I could easily get it.
I don't know what I'm craving at that moment.
Anyways, back to the regularly scheduled program. Grocery store. Maybe if you have pets, like walking the dog or feeding the pets. Yard work.
Okay.
And if we go on vacation, helping to pack for the trips, especially if we have kids.
Okay.
Right? So it's just these tasks that you do that ease my load. And when you do those things, then that makes me feel loved.
Oh. So acts of service makes you feel loved. If someone takes, and we're just talking about you.
Okay.
So if somebody takes care, or I take care of one of these or a couple of these items on there, that is your way of knowing that I feel a certain way about you. Is that what you're saying? Because
it makes me feel that way because it speaks to my heart.
Okay.
If that makes sense. It sounds corny, but it does. It's like when my house, if anyone else is out there that can share this with me and confirm it, when my home is clean and in order, I really do feel like less stressed, more zen. Like it's just this calming, I don't know, thing that just comes over me. No, you don't feel like that when your house is clean?
The house is always clean. I don't know why you say that. The house is always clean.
Because my OCD requires it to be
clean. My thing is this, and especially when it comes to the cleaning of the house, I get it that people have children, pets, this, that, and the other, but I'm a firm believer that your house should be in a manner that you can invite somebody over at any time and not be embarrassed. Right? If let's say I met somebody at the store or I ran into an old friend at the store, I should be able to invite that person over the house at any time, spur of the moment, and not have to worry about picking up.
I hear you, but I also feel like when we did have little kids, it was a little harder to do that. Whereas now we're older, it's not very hard. We're the type of couple that we make our bed every single morning. There's not even one hand that I can count on that in the almost 11 years we've been together that we haven't made the bed.
They know how to, yeah, but some people don't make their bed because ain't nobody going in their room.
I'm just saying, in general, we try to like keep things organized. There's other people who have kids and other obligations, or they work 12 hours a day. We don't. So
right. I get it.
I just think there's different justification with that.
I would agree.
So is there anyone out there that maybe has taken the quiz or believes that acts of service is indeed what your love language is?
Yeah, because with me, I'm not the act of service type person. When it comes down to it, I do not, it doesn't make me any difference. Well, it makes a difference as far as what we're trying to do as a whole when it comes to, volunteering to do things or stepping up to do something that you can't do. But if you did something for me, that doesn't necessarily tell me
that you
make me feel loved.
Yeah,
it just makes me feel like we needed to get it done.
Yeah.
But that's why that's not my love language. That's not my number one love language. I think
that's just my top one. And I don't know if feeling loved is really the word, but when you do when you do things like that for me, it makes me feel that you're invested in my well-being, even if it's mental, because my house is clean, that helps my mental and center me. So then that makes me feel loved.
I think the investment in the relationship is more over the forefront. When you allow somebody to do something that they need help with doing.
Right.
That's a little selfish on your part. You see what I'm saying? But if I step in and I say, hey, this needs to be done and this needs to be done, no matter if it's to alleviate you from doing it or alleviate us from being like messy and stuff like that, that is a sign of the involvement in the relationship as a whole. It's how I see it. Go ahead.
So Crystal Bearward said, I agree with you. I love a clean house and I love a husband who cleans it too. She says she loves that more.
Oh.
And then Megan says, I have zero clue what my love language is like at all. She has no clue. Take the quiz, Megan. It may help you clarify and understand things. And again, you probably have each a level of each love language, but you do have primaries. Like this is the main one that speaks to me, but you may have like a little preference of each. But we do have a primary one. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. Like I said, just the investment when it comes to active service, I think when you actually break it down, it's all a part of a couple of things. One is establishment of expectations at the beginning of the relationship, and two is the investment into your relationship. When you establish something like from the start, hey, we won't have a messy home, or I'm not going to do all the chores. It's not my responsibility to do the laundry all the time, and this, that, and the other. Once you establish those, then the active service comes in when, all right, I've done my laundry or I've done the dishes that I messed up. Now I see some additional stuff. Let me just go ahead and knock that out. You know what I mean? And that's the respect in the relationship part.
Right. But I also feel like it's also picking up the slack, right? Like I think I said it on the last podcast. I've been redoing, redecorating our courtyard area. pictures to follow. I will be done this weekend. It has taken me 2.5 months to do this, but I have to say that every single day that I'm in this courtyard on the floor, literally on the floor, my husband has picked up the slack for the household, whether it's Marley walking and feeding her, whether it's just like a quick pickup of the house, doing the outdoor yard. He had finished some furniture that I still would have had to do after I finished the courtyard, that I intended to do by the summer, that I still would have had to do, but he took that on. Repainting the not the fireplace. What is that called? The waterfall. That was another thing that I had just told him, like, these are the things I want to do. Well, he was like, so while you're doing that courtyard, I can do these things for you. And right, it just took such a load off.
Right, because I don't think I didn't look at it as the things were for you. I think they needed to be done.
But because it was my idea to do the courtyard, not that I'm responsible for decorating, but it's something that I done for a living in the past and went to school for. So it does tend to be in my court to like decorate or whatever our household. And so even though that's the case, it's just like I chose to take on those tasks. Mm-hmm. But I appreciate that you took them on for me to assist.
Yeah, like I said, it's a team effort. No matter what you have going on, everyone's busy nowadays. And I just can't see myself, and I don't know how people do it, man or woman, where you see somebody working hard day in and day out, and then the other person is just sitting around knowing that there's things that need to be taken care of.
Yeah. But unfortunately, we hear that a lot. And women are retaliating, boy.
But see, in this probably another podcast.
I hear you, because it wasn't established from the start. Get-go.
You know what I mean? If you start doing everything, you cleaning the house, you're cooking, you're taking care of the kids, you're doing this, that, and the other. As a woman, you're doing 20 things from the start of your relationship. Then all of a sudden you get tired. You can't come back and say, hey, I need you to do this, that, and the other, because the other person is used to you doing it.
But you also just said it. You could not just sit around while I was doing stuff, right?
Because I wasn't raised that way.
That's what I'm saying is, remember how we had a podcast not that long ago where I was like, yes, even if I did that from the get-go, you shouldn't have allowed me.
You said that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, even though I, said I would maintain the household or whatever, you shouldn't have let me. You should still be like, okay, yes, in general, maybe you're the stay-at-home mom and you should do that. But when I get home, if I see a kitchen full of dishes or a sink full of dishes, I'm going to help out. If I see that the kids haven't been fed, let me start dinner.
I agree with you on that, but some people are on those gender roles. No matter what you got going on, you can have 100 things going on. Some people think that, let's say, the dishes, the laundry, the kids, or whatever is your responsibility. So if it's not your responsibility and solely your responsibility, from the start, that needs to be talked about. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Again, that was on our other podcast.
Yeah, same with like acts of service too. When you if that's what makes you happy, then that's your love language. You should let the individual know, you know what? I enjoy this, I enjoy this, but what really gets my heart is these additional things without me having to tell you.
Without me having to tell you. That's why it says anything done willingly. Not because I asked you to do it. But willingly, because you knew that would it's like a practical action you can do for me.
Right.
So yeah. Okay. All right. So along with acts of service, there's some negative. Actually, no. First thing I want to say too is, if you're not necessarily the person that their love language is acts of service, but maybe your significant other's primary is acts of service. So take the things that we just said into consideration as to ways that you can contribute to them as well to make them feel loved. Crystal says it also could mean not necessarily cleaning yourself, but taking the initiative to eat. It also could mean not necessarily cleaning yourself, but taking the initiative to even hire a cleaning service, for example.
Right.
It's about taking the burden off and sharing responsibilities without having to be asked.
Right.
Is appreciated.
So what she's saying is you don't have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
But if you go hire somebody to do it, then that still takes the burden off of you to have to clean after you were doing whatever.
Yeah, good point, Crystal. I agree.
Yeah. But if you cheat,
especially if you're a Ron Tribble who's not willing to pay, then I guess you're cleaning.
But now, I don't know. All right, go ahead.
You admit it here on camera that you love coming home to a clean house when the cleaners come.
Well, yeah, well.
And you don't have to do anything that weekend.
I really don't know how much the cleaners cost. And second of all, I think I have more money than I do time. So I'd rather spend my time elsewhere and pay somebody else to do it if that's what they do. You know what I mean?
I totally agree.
All right.
I love it. You have to make sacrifices, Ron Tribble. Time is more precious.
That must be your sister that said that.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So back to what I was about to say is on the negative side of acts of service, or the ways that are not good with approaching somebody whose love language is active service, is broken promises.
Okay, meaning?
Or laziness. It makes you feel unimportant.
I promise you that I'm going to do this, and this,
right.
And I don't do it.
Correct.
Okay. But then laziness is I'm just
You're
sitting
just
around
not
watching you
correct.
do things. Okay.
Yeah, like that's negative. It's probably a turnoff, if anything.
Okay.
Putting stuff off. Like if I ask you to do something and you just like, yeah, I'll do it. And then a week later, it's like, dude.
Oh, that's me. Because you wanted me to do it, but you didn't tell me you wanted me to do it. If you told me you wanted me to do it, I would have just did it. but I wasn't prepared at that time to just do it. You know what I'm saying?
Do it?
Yeah. As old boy on TikTok said. I was going to do it. I just didn't know that you wanted me to do it. You see what I'm saying? So then if it's important to you, then you should tell me how important it is.
I agree with you because I do this at work. I've really tried my best when I reach out to one of my staff members and ask them to do a task. Before I would be like, hey, can you get this done? And then I've learned that, well, sometimes they would hurry, or I don't know. There was like a comment where they were like, well, I didn't know if I needed to drop what I was doing. So then I learn. I feel like if I'm at fault, I'm a very good learner. Like I'll learn from my mistakes. And so now if I delegate a task, I really do try to remember to be like, hey, it's not a rush, but when you get time, do this. Or, hey, I need this by Thursday, to at least give them a time that I need it by. Mm-hmm. And then that also kind of helps to set the stage of when do you have to do it. Is that what you said?
Do it. If you're asking me to do something,
do you mean right now?
Right now, or you want me to do it? You know, because if you want me to do it, I would have just did it.
Yeah.
I was gonna do it, but I didn't know you wanted me to do it.
Do it
right then.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
And then I have having to be reminded about the household tasks. Like I said, if you see a load of a sink full of dishes. Mm-hmm. They need to be done. If you see a laundry room full of dirty laundry, throw in a load.
Yeah. You're talking about the average person should throw in a load?
Correct. But that's like the thing is I shouldn't have to remind you, or I guess even ask you often, right? But sometimes the asking to me is more a preference, right? So you may not be because unfortunately, we are not the same people. So if I ask, hey, babe, can you clean the bathrooms? They're really bothering me. well, they may not be to a point where they bother him. So then it's not that he saw it and was like, I'm not going to clean the bathroom. It just wasn't to your level of dirtiness, right? So
correct.
For me to ask you in that aspect isn't like, God, I hate that I have to ask you. So I don't think it's always that, but it's just more like our differences or levels of perspective.
Well, if you want something done, period, you should be able to approach your partner and say, hey, can you do this? Or, hey, I got this going on. Is it all right for you to just go ahead and take care of? Then I'm not even saying ask. Sometimes I'm just like, hey, this needs to be done. I got this going on. Are you doing anything? Can you just knock this out real quick? Or
yeah, you've done that to me.
Yeah. It just depends on what it is that's going on at the time.
Yeah.
Now, your partner can't be doing something else and then you pile on what you want them to do and then get frustrated because that person didn't get to it right away.
Done.
You know what I mean? So you just have to know what your partner's thought process is. You got to communicate on a regular basis to have an understanding on what is required. Like I already know what my responsibilities are when it comes to, let's just say, cleaning. Or the yard work or this, that, and the other. I already know what my responsibilities are because there's certain things that you like doing and some things that you don't like doing. Same with me.
Yeah. And the thing is, guys, don't get it twisted. I don't like cleaning. I don't. It's not like I love to clean, but the end game of the cleaning is what I like.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You have someone make a comment. Ooh, it's
yes. Jesse says, "Is that a love language or a household responsibility?" I agree.
It can get muddy.
Yeah,
but
it could be both. It could be your love language, or it could be
a household responsibility.
Like I said,
but when it's done is when it makes me feel a certain way.
Yeah, I already know. Like I said, what we've been doing this for a minute on who does what. So I already know, like the dusting in the living room and this, that, and the other, or the outside, the backyard and stuff like that is my responsibility. And I've just taken it on.
Did we establish that?
We haven't established it, but yeah, we established it because once I started doing it from the start, and then it became like every time there's something to do with the household chores or whatever, I'm doing the same things. That's an establishment. Like I would probably fall over dead if I came home and the backyard was swept. Or
first of all, I cut all them bushes that last year. Do you remember that? Where I trimmed them really bad, not bad, but quite a bit.
Yeah, you did.
And look how full they are now. You were like adamant it was going to look bald for the summer, and look at how full it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I did that.
Oh, right there. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
So, Jesse, it could be a love language, or it could be, you're right, a household responsibility.
But that would be the same even as any of the other love languages, like words of affirmation. It's part of a relationship to express your feelings, but that doesn't mean that, how do I say this? I still prefer you to tell me this or that if I'm words of affirmation, like if that is what makes me feel
right, but like
a certain way. So,
but it was the same thing as I asked last week when we did that was, do I tell you things just to tell you things because that's your love language? Like here, you say acts of service. I hate doing it, but am I going to do it just to do it just because I know it makes you happy?
Yes. Yes, you are. Crystal says it's learning to do what your partner appreciates the most.
Yes. And that's with any love language. You know what I mean? It's what your partner or what they like. You do whatever it is to make your partner happy or satisfied. Yeah. So if it's acts of service or words of affirmation, you have to incorporate pretty much every love language into it. However, you got to be extra heavy on with you with the acts of service, or extra heavy when it comes to words of affirmation?
And again, I feel like, I don't know if this is just a time in my life right now, like after the passing of my mom, and I just feel like my life right now is not in order. And so maybe this is what helps me feel like I have some grip on my life, maybe. So then maybe if and when I ever get out of this feeling of like fight or flight and my house is, I don't know, I just feel like right now I can't get a hold of everything. And so by him helping me helps me feel like closer to completion of things.
Right.
But eventually, maybe when I don't no longer have these feelings, I'm guessing, maybe it'll change.
I don't see it, to me, since this is not my love language, I don't see this as helping you.
But it is.
No, because when I look at it in this way, when you say helping you, it seems like it's your responsibility, and then I'm just helping you get it done.
I know it's not my responsibility, but it's because of my standard and my requirement of having the clean house, even though, like I said, you don't see it as being dirty, but I do. Right? And so, yeah, by you helping and doing these things, it's not necessarily my responsibility, but I see it as dirty. So then I want to have it cleaned.
Okay.
No. Don't agree?
No, because I've never seen our houses being dirty.
Crystal says, no, you're a type A and you have to be organized to feel like your life is in order. Yeah, very much so. Thank you, Crystal. That's exactly, yes, what she said.
Yeah, but the thing is with that is, if you say your life is not in order for what you got going on,
yes,
nothing is in order.
Yeah, I totally feel like everything right now is out of order. And again, I think it's just this feeling since my mom passed. I just can't seem to like get back to that comfort of, okay, we're good again. I just always feel like I am in this, what is it? Fight or flight. I don't know, maybe like this unsettled feeling. I don't know what it is. And so that's why I feel like maybe currently the acts of service is indeed what is making me, like, helping me to organize my life back to prior to where I have some type of control.
And I can see that because after watching your mom pass, and then when I took the test, at that time, that's when my love language changed to quality time, because
you did share that.
Like I said, there's one thing that you can't get back, and that is time. You know what I mean? All this other stuff, to me, in my opinion, is not important. Time, no matter if I have time to clean, no matter if I have time to hang out, no matter if I have time for loving, time is very precious. So that's when mine changed. Yeah, because like I said, once I watched your mom pass, and I said this 100 times, if I asked you what is one thing that you would want from your mom, it would be time. You know what I mean? So
I could see that.
Yeah. Once I filled out the questionnaire and I was answering the questions, time became like
more
really
important, primary really important for you. Yeah.
Yes.
Crystal says it's because we were in a constant fight or flight for so long, so your system doesn't know how to down regulate now.
Probably so.
Maybe. Like I said, I didn't think I was acts of service, but when I took the thing, I was like, actually, yeah, right now. Like I said, I think just because I feel like my life is in chaos right now, that by him helping me try to reorganize, even if it's my household or my schedule or whatever, which leads to other things being organized, it's like this cycle, right? Then maybe it might change. And then maybe I'll be able to prioritize quality time, because I feel like quality time is important to me too. But right now I'm in this fight or flight mode. And so right now, that's what's most important to me.
Okay.
So yeah.
What else when it comes to acts of service?
I think with any of the love languages, I think that it's important just for you to be intentional, even if it's not your thing. Like I said in my little commercial that I did before, like if you want your partner to like do some loads of laundry instead of like come and hug you and kiss you, and you know what I mean? It's like, just be intentional with what they want, not what you want.
But you have to actually know too.
Kiana says facts, Angela. Yeah. What is facts, Kiana? What do you mean?
You have to know what your partner is invested in. What is their love language?
Yeah. I just feel like you have to have good intentions to show your person love, no matter the way that they.
Yeah, but some people don't know. You know what I mean? Some people don't know what it is that you require. Like if you was to ask me before you told me yours was active service, I wouldn't have never.
You wouldn't have realized.
Never guessed that. No.
And I agree, because when you said yours was quality time and you explained to me, I also said that, like, oh, I wouldn't have guessed that about you.
Well, damn.
Right? So, which is interesting because here we are oblivious.
Yeah.
But I also do feel like he wasn't not giving me. Did you feel like I was not giving you the quality time that you desired, or was it just that's just?
I don't really look at it in that manner. I look at it as scenario driven. Like, what do we have going on right now? Do I expect you to give me some quality time right now? No. You got stuff that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
When your mom was going through her thing, did I expect you to give me quality time or what do you call it? Physical touch or whatever at that time? No. So everything is situational driven. You know what I mean? What is it? Where are you at right now? What do we have going on? And then I'll put my love language into it when the coast is clear. Gotcha. I can't be selfish with what's going on when you are busy. Let's say you work and you're just dead tired. You don't have the time to be spending with me or whatever.
I hear you for that day, but I do think it's important for you to acknowledge and communicate in general what it is that you're seeking. Right? Because one day is different than we've been together 4 years and I haven't been able to tell you what I need from you. That's not good.
Yeah, one day.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Crystal says, and it helps when you have a partner that helps take any stress off your shoulders. I agree. Kiana, being intentional is always key.
Yeah. Intentional, but don't overdo it. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't seem genuine.
Yeah, I could see that. Like you're overly
telling you stuff with your acts of, with your what do you call it?
Words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation, or hey, let me get this.
Because then it almost seems just
let me do this for you. Hey, let me wash those dishes. Let me do this. Blah blah blah. It's like, bruh.
Yeah.
And don't do anything when it comes to acts of service. Don't start doing stuff that you're not gonna continue on doing. You see what I'm saying? Don't keep on doing the laundry like every week or every other day when you don't expect to do that every other day, because then it's going to become a routine and that's going to become your job.
Yeah. Kiana says, we don't know what we don't know. Communicating yourself is always necessary.
Yes, communication is the key. Like I said earlier, on any of these love languages, you have to communicate.
Oh, that's a good point, Kiana. She says, in theory, you should know you more than anyone else. So why make someone else do that work? Like the guessing. Just tell them straight up. What is what she's saying? Communicate it. Oh.
Marla.
Sorry, guys. Hold on. Our son just got home, and so the dog is okay. Enough. Thank you. Anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one was fun for me because this is my love language. So yeah. Did you hear me, babe? Did you hear what I had to say?
I heard everything you had to say. I can read it right now.
I'm actually excited to do yours just because it helps me learn too.
What is mine?
Yours is quality time.
Yes,
yes. So let's see which one we're doing next week.
Next week we are
receiving
on deck
gifts.
for receiving gifts.
Yeah,
this should be interesting.
That one's interesting because for us that's like the lowest on the totem pole.
On the totem pole.
Yeah, so I hope you guys can chime in, or it's going to be a very short
yes
podcast. But we do appreciate.
Okay, she says your partner should be able to sense when the appropriate time or situation. I agree.
If they know you, yeah.
Yeah, and that comes from Jesse. Yes, your partner should be able to sense it. Like if I know that you need help or my partner needs help or whatever, I should be able to sense it. Like I said earlier, I think it's selfish for somebody to see the stress and strain on their partner and still continue to just sit there and relax. I'm just not a fan of that person, but
we do that too. He'll be like, "Are you cleaning?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, I'm like, "You don't have to clean." He's like, "Well, you think I'm just going to sit here?" And
yeah,
like, "Babe, real quick, I'm just going to clean the bathroom or whatever if I saw something," and right? And then he gets irritated because he's like, "I just want to relax," but I don't expect him to do it.
Game will be in the fourth quarter. It's tied. Then here she is trying to break out the vacuum cleaner or something. I'm just like, man.
Lies. It's not that bad. Anyways, we appreciate you guys being here. We do hope that these few weeks are going to give you guys more insight into your love language and maybe to assist you in how to, I don't know, provide the love to your partner.
Right.
Right.
And then next week, when we do our gifts, giving,
yeah.
When we start off, we're curious to know, or you can just chime in on the chat even after we get off. What is your love language? Mm-hmm. We want to know what is your love language so we can actually see the audience and who we are catering towards right now. So what is your love language? You know what I mean? We tell you. We're breaking it down to the 5 languages every week. We take a different one, but we have yet, outside of Kiana last week, to know, and Crystal, she chimed in. Yeah. What is everyone else's love language? I'd be curious to know. Or what you think your love language actually is.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So
yeah, thank you.
Next week we have, you said, gift giving.
Gift giving.
We're on here 6 o'clock Mountain Time every Thursday. You can catch us on
YouTube Live,
and Facebook Live for
personal right Facebooks. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, before you guys go, this is a new merch on our. It says Pothead. If you're interested, pretty soon we'll have them on our website. But I got so many people comment on my shirt today. I'm like, give me a week or so and we'll be good to go if you want one.
And what is your website?
Well, the shirts aren't on there yet, but they'll be in hopefully within the week. But it's at plannookbyangela.com.
Spell that, Plannook.
Plannook, Plannook.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So anyways, this is a fun one. So if you guys are interested, let me know.
All righty.
All right. Please join us next week. Thanks to all those that did chime in. And again, if you haven't taken the quiz, take it. And we hope that you chime in next week.
Yes. Thank you guys. Every single one of you guys for your support.
Oh, and have a good holiday. It is going to be the 4th and we won't get on until after.
Correct.
So you guys be safe, especially with those fireworks.
Yes.
There's a lot of fires out there and dryness and all of that. So just be careful and spend time with your loved ones. Yes. Quality time.
Quality time. There it is.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. See you guys next week.